Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going over another champion concept video with the lizard. So this is one I'm pretty darn excited for, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Starting off with his immunities. So lizard is going to be immune to poison and 90% resistant to incinerate, but cold snap will reduce the speed of some of his abilities, and we'll get into that in a second. Most importantly, lizard is buff immune. I think that's something that would fit lizard really well given that he, only believes in science essentially, and would help him out in a lot of different aspects of the game. And so I'm really thinking that would be something awesome for him. Now, the main focus of his kit is going to be based around these. These are called reptilian charges. And so when Lizard gains a reptilian charge, he gains one for every debuff he has inflicted on the opponent, excluding stun, seconds, 4 of these against Spider-Verse heroes. Each reptilian charge increases his physical resistance by 2.5%, and these will stack up to 20. So at 5 charges, Lizard's heavy attack inflicts the opponent with a debilitate passive, extending future debuffs by 50% for 30 seconds. So at 10 charges, Lizard's heavy attack inflicts a 50% petrified debuff for 30 seconds. At 15 charges, Lizard's heavy attack inflicts a 50% physical vulnerability debuff for 30 seconds, and special attacks become passively unblockable and deal physical bursts of damage, scaling with the amount of debuffs currently on the defender or on the opponent. At 20 charges, Lizard gains the ability to shed skin by double tapping block. This will cost him 10 charges. Upon activation, Lizard begins what I like to call Ecdysis. That's Ecdysis, and lasts for 2 seconds. The Ecdysis state is basically like an Adam Warlock's pod. All damage is reduced by 90%, and Lizard cannot be stunned. The ability accuracy for debuffs is reduced by 100%. If he's struck while in Ecdysis, the opponent is inflicted with a 10-second poison debuff. Upon exiting Ecdysis, all debuffs on Lizard are shed, purified. And then for the next 60 seconds, he gains a 50% tenacity, basically, giving him the ability to kind of purify debuffs to an extent. And upon exiting Ecdysis, Lizard is invulnerable for 0.25 seconds, and he only gets to activate Ecdysis in this manner once per match, right, by double tapping block at 20 charges. So his basic attacks, his first medium and fourth light attacks inflict ruptures lasting 8 seconds on the opponent. These can be inflicted through block. Ruptures can be paused for 5 seconds by punishing heavy attacks or special attacks. So this one I call the pheromone control. So this is the Lizard's roar. Dashing back and standing still for 1.5 seconds inflicts the opponent. Lizard will roar, and this will inflict the opponent with a non-stacking 5-second panic passive. Pause during all special attacks, and this has a 10-second cooldown. Lizard's special attacks. The special attack 1 will inflict ruptures on his hits, after which he'll perform the Lizard's roar, and this will basically negate the cooldown for the panic passive. And then special attack 2 inflicts ruptures on hits, after which Lizard enters the Ecdysis state. And then the special attack 3, Lizard will gain a vicious passive for 30 seconds, increasing the damage of all of his damaging debuffs. Lizard's awakened ability will basically revolve around Ecdysis again. He'll gain a regeneration passive, healing 2 to 10% based on his signature level. That's over 2 seconds. And then also each reptilian charge will increase his rupture potency by 2.5%. So that awakened ability, basically high sig, will be better. Won't be necessary, but it will be definitely a lot better. So if you guys aren't catching on to the design here, the main idea here is really to counter Enchantress in a lot of different ways. But then being that he's a Spider-Man villain, I kind of wanted him to be capable of handling some of the Spider-Verse heroes. And that's where the Panic passive fit in perfectly. So for those of you who don't know, Panic is a new debuff. There's no one that actually inflicts it yet, but we've seen it on some nodes. It basically prevents miss and prevents evade, is what it does. So that's where that would help out. And I think it's perfectly fitting for someone like Lizard. It would be so awesome to see. And all the other things that he'll be capable of doing, I think these all fit him really, really well. So I want to get your guys' thoughts, and hopefully this concept we can see something like this in game. Lizard should be in the game already, and we'd love to have him. So if you got any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And if this is something that you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. And best of luck in the battle realm, my friends.